Okay, we have several people who would like to offer public testimony. We're thankful for that. So I'm going to start off with this statement. Anyone who wants to offer comments regarding the subject case, please submit a completed form located on the table by the entrance doors. The forms must have your name, address, date, and whether you want to testify in support of, opposed to, or are neutral. Anyone planning to speak must do so at the podium so your remarks can be heard in the recording system. All questions and comments will be directed to the commission and not to the applicant. The applicant will have the opportunity to answer questions and offer a rebuttal after all public testimony is completed. All speakers will need to state their name and address for the record before they begin speaking. And I will call first those supporting the application, then those uncommitted, and then finally those opposed. So we'll start with that. I guess if I could offer any guidance to any of the public commenters, we will make our recommendation based on the 8 standards of approval. So it's helpful to us if you address your comments and opinion to those, and that will help us make the recommendation. So we don't have anybody wishing to comment who's in support of the applicant's request. We have a few people who are neutral, and the first of those is Andy Ducks.
Andy, did you have your form completed for it?
Oh,
just
I didn't.
We'll get it taken care of just before you leave. Make sure I get that, okay?
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thanks to the commission for being able to speak. My name is Andy Ducks. I live at 9006 North Finucane Drive. Lived there for 13 years. And I guess I just wanted to start by saying I indicated I was neutral on this, and I think my concern is just related to the density of homes that are being proposed. I do appreciate the efforts of the developer and the city to work on having multiple outlets for this subdivision. I think that's certainly appreciated by those of us that live on Finucane to get some of that traffic going a different direction. I learned some things today that was helpful, just trying to understand more about the traffic analysis, and I guess I'm still trying to wrap my head around how this will reduce traffic on Finucane. That's not very intuitive to me. At certain peak hours, I recognize the soccer field generates a lot of traffic. Some of that will be welcomed, but there's a lot of times that soccer field is not generating any traffic, and I'm concerned that let's have more consistent and increased traffic. And my concern really isn't so much about just this subdivision, but cumulative effects that we're seeing. I've noticed a lot more traffic on our street over time. Finucane's increasingly being used, it seems like, as a travel corridor for folks that don't live in our neighborhood. And I heard the developer mentioning trying to create a residential feel or neighborhood feel for this new development. And I feel like that's being lost on Finucane, and I think this may contribute to that further. One of the appeals when I purchased my home and moved in there was that it was in a nice neighborhood that was close to a school, that had the open space of the soccer field, and I know the selling of that was beyond your control. But we also have some issues. I've had 2 incidences of property damage on my property from drivers who've gone off the road. There's an S curve in Finucane Drive, which is right where my property is located. And so it creates some blind corners there. And so there are some challenges on that street. A lot of that is related to folks that will often drive faster than they're supposed to. And so I know that's a separate challenge, but more traffic, I think, creates more risk there. I noticed be more careful now to go get my mail and back out of the driveway because of more instances of people who are moving a little too fast through there. And so I guess my concerns relate to having more homes, especially that many homes in that area, combined effects from all the other growth we've seen and other things that have kind of gone in that part of our community will contribute to that safety, as well as changing the feel of our neighborhood. So I just wanted to share those, and I guess I'm hopeful that even if the development is approved, maybe there are some considerations given to how this increased traffic can be better managed so that we don't lose some of that neighborhood feel and the safety for those of us that have lived on that street. Thank you.
Thank you. You have one. So you have one.